Good morning, good morning.
Recording in progress.
Je sais pas si
Can you see me, Mr. Fabian?
Yes, we can see you. And please, if you're not talking, you mute yourself, please.
All
We
right.
have the authorities already on the floor. Thank you.
Bonsoir, messieurs et dames, chers membres du gouvernement. Bonsoir, chers invités et chers jeunes. Nous sommes ici dans le cadre de la conférence Youth, de la Cameroon Youth Conference. Alors, je vais passer la parole à monsieur Lyonga, qui va introduire.
Good morning. I think on your program, before I do anything, we have the national anthem, and if I'm not mistaken, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Nous allons donc commencer par l'hymne national. Est-ce que vous pouvez injecter l'hymne national, s'il vous plaît? Nous allons nous lever pour exécuter l'hymne tous ensemble.
But you sing it in French, you sing it in French, and then the refrain in English.
Au Cameroun, berceau de nos ancêtres, pas de bruit de ta liberté. Comme un soleil dans ta peau, fière de terre, un seul doigt dans nos voix d'unité. Que tous les enfants du nord de l'est à l'ouest soient tout amour. C'est soit le sur le devoir jour. Et patrie, et chérie, tu es les vrais bonheurs, notre joie, notre vie, à toi l'amour et le grand honneur.
Land of promise, land of joy, bring out life and joy your only store. And the honor, kind devotion, forevermore.
Merci.
Yes, it's the good man. Let's do some money.
I'd like for you to have this side. So if you pull forward, then I'll be able to bring the fork side. So my head should be that way. You want your head that way.
Mutez si vous ne parlez pas, s'il vous plaît. If you're not talking, please mute.
Madame Paulette, votre micro n'est pas activé.
Il se trouve que j'ai des petits problèmes avec mon micro. Hein.
Là, c'est bon.
Oui, ça va maintenant?
C'est bon.
OK. Nous allons commencer par un message de bienvenue. Je vais passer la parole à l'host président, Mr. Lyonga.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Colette Sadin. So you are welcome to this conference today. Your Excellencies, Senators and members of Parliament present, traditional and community authorities, ladies and gentlemen, dear young people of Cameroon, I am honored to have this opportunity to speak to you today about the importance of 3 topics: civic engagement, entrepreneurship, and decision-making for the emergence of Cameroon. As young people, you have a vital role to play in shaping the future of our country. Your energy, creativity, and passion are the driving force behind the development of our nation. Therefore, it is essential that you actively engage in civic activities, take up entrepreneurship, and make informed decisions that will drive the growth and prosperity of our beloved country. Civic engagement is an important aspect of democracy, and it involves actively participating in the political process, community service, and volunteerism. As young people, you have a responsibility to engage in activities that promote the well-being of your community and country. Whether it is registering to vote, attending to town hall meetings, or volunteering at a local charity organization, your contribution can make a significant impact on the development of our nation. Entrepreneurship is as encouraged by the President, Head of State, President Paul Biya, to us on February 10th, is also a crucial aspect of building a prosperous country. As young people, you have the opportunity to create, innovate businesses that will create jobs, generate wealth, and drive economic growth. Through entrepreneurship, you can take control of your future and contribute to the development of our nation. Therefore, I encourage you to explore entrepreneurship opportunities, be innovative, and take calculated risk. And we hope that our members of government here present will assist us, the youth, in achieving these goals within a very short time period. Finally, decision-making is critical in shaping the future of our country. As young people, you need to develop critical thinking skills, learn to analyze information, and make informed decisions. You must also learn to collaborate and engage in constructive dialogue with people from diverse backgrounds and seek to understand different perspectives. Through these skills, you can become effective leaders and make decisions that will drive the growth and prosperity of our country. In conclusion, I urge you to embrace civic engagement, entrepreneurship, and effective decision-making. Remember, the future of Cameroon is in your hands, and your active participation is crucial in shaping the destiny of our nation. So let us all work together to create a better future for ourselves and our children and generations to come. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Merci, Mr. Lyonga. Et maintenant, il est important ici de signaler que nous avons cet événement grâce à certaines institutions et certaines entreprises qui ont bien voulu collaborer. Et nous les remercions tous, y inclut les médias. Nous leur donnerons la parole tout au long de l'événement. Maintenant, nous passons la parole au ministre des petites et moyennes entreprises sur l'économie sociale et l'économie sociale. Ici, nous avons His Excellencies Achille Basilinke III.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Are you getting me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Very well.
Oh, thank you very much. Good afternoon, Your Excellency. Good afternoon, honorable members, all protocol respected. I will first begin by apologizing on behalf of my minister, His Excellency Basilinke Achille, who has been called up urgently at the last minute for other state duties. He asked me to apologize on his behalf and especially to his colleague who is there. The Honorable Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, your colleague sent you special greetings through my humble person. I am the Inspector #1 in the Ministry of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, Social Economy and Handicrafts. My name is Ntanen Nathan. And on behalf of the Minister, we would like to congratulate President Fabian and his team for this wonderful opportunity that he is giving us all to talk to the youth of Cameroon, the youth whom we know are the future of this country. His Excellency President Paul Biya has always insisted upon that. And coming back to why we are here today, that's talking about the role of the youth in social economy, community development, and the decentralization process in the New Deal government for Cameroon's emergence. We want to say that it falls in direct line with the missions of MINMESA, which amongst other things has to see into the social economy policies of the country. Social economy, which to put it in simple English, is parallel economy that places man at the center of activity. It places man in front of capital. And to put it terre à terre, as we say in French, we give examples like Njangis, which we have in the quarters, common initiative groups, JICs. Those are all social economy organizations which seek to pool resources together for the development and enrichment of its members. Social economy, small and medium-sized enterprises, handicrafts, they all seriously contribute to the socio-economic development and fight against poverty and through participative management and sustainable development. We all know that MINMESA is for social economy, small and medium-sized enterprises, and handicrafts. Conscious of the importance of social economies and SMEs to the development of this country, the government, through MINMESA, has put in place policies to foster the youth, because as we all know, our goal today is the youth, to foster the youth in its drive towards emergence. That is why, permit me take some of your time to talk about some of the activities and the structures that MINMESA has in place, for which the youth can take advantage of to develop so that together we can attain Cameroon's emergence. We have our small and medium business promotion agency, which is the practical arm of the ministry that has to do with small and medium businesses. We call them by its French abbreviation, the RPME, which has put in place special products which the youth can take advantage of so as to develop their businesses, their small businesses. I speak under the control of the general manager of the agency, who is here with us, Mr. Eric, who is here with us. I think if he's given chance, he will give much more information on some of the products that their agency have put in place for the youth. We also have another project under our ministry, which is called the Pay As Stay Day. This is a project that encourages the creation and development of small and medium enterprises that are specialized in the transformation of agricultural and agri-food products. We give them technical, financial, and material support. And we take into the consideration the youth aspect of that when it comes to that project and that program. We take the youth aspect, we take the gender considerations too. And needless to say, it used to be a headache in this country, creating your enterprises. Today, in 72 hours, and you can read my lips, in 72 hours, in our one-stop shops for enterprise creation, better known by their French abbreviation, the CFCE, which are found in all the 10 regional headquarters of the country. In 72 hours, you have your enterprise created in our one-stop shop, which means you don't have to move from the Treasury Department to the Taxation Department to the Court Department. All of those departments are found in our one-stop shops, and in 72 hours, you have your enterprises created. 72 hours might seem a long time, and that is why we are working to bring it down to as little as 24 hours. But as of now, we can ensure you that in 72 hours, it is done. Now, you know, the way business is done, especially for the youth, is not like in the old days where we were just doing what we call in simple English, buy and sell. Today, we need seasoned business experts. That is why MINMESA is taking these aspects of incubation very seriously. And we have the pilot incubation center constructed and run by MINMESA in Edea, which, as we speak, it's about to recruit its third batch of trainees. We have already sent out the first and the second batches of young men who want to get into businesses. So we take them, put them in our business nurseries, put them in the incubators so that they do business the way it has to be done. You may have the capital, but you have to know how to do business. That is why MINMESA, which is in charge of seeing into it that small businesses are done and done in the real way. We have this, our incubator, pilot incubator in Edea. And apart from that, we also support other incubators in the universities, state universities. We support other incubators with state universities. We give them financial assistance. We give them our technical assistance so that they carry out their activities the way they are supposed to be done. I need to insist on our flagship program, training program for young entrepreneurs. This program is called Empretech program. Every session this year we'll be handling our 27th session of young entrepreneurs, where we give them training on how to develop your businesses, training on entrepreneurship. It's a one-week flagship program, which the ministry runs in partnership with the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development in UNCTAD. 6-week intensive training program for young entrepreneurs on how to build and develop your businesses. And mark you, it's for free. The ministry takes charge of all the expenditure that are involved. Now, to make sure that the spirit of business, especially among the youth, is fostered, MINMESA, in partnership with its devolved structures, is putting in place entrepreneurship clubs, building and encouraging the creation of entrepreneurship clubs in all the secondary schools and the lycées all over the country. Because as we know, entrepreneurship is a spirit. It's a spirit that has to be developed from the base so that we are sure that we are training our students with an entrepreneurship spirit from the base. Gone are those days when we had to go to school, graduate, and we are waiting for concourse. We all know the important role entrepreneurship plays in the development of every country. And that is why MINMESA is laying a real emphasis on this entrepreneurship development at that small, young level. We are even working on getting right down to the primary school level so that we start building their competence from that low level. Now, MINMESA every year, the ministry offers grants, and repeat, grants to social economy organizations all over the country. Working in collaboration with Mindevel, we work in collaboration with the devolved structures of Mindevel, that's the mayors. They select social economy organizations at their various council levels, and Minimeza comes with financial grants to all those social economy organizations. As we speak, last year, we gave out grants to the tune of 700 million to different social economy organizations, especially those run and managed by the youths all over the country. In a nutshell, when it comes to question and answers, we'll have many more other things to say as the questions keep coming. But His Excellency the Minister, honorable gentlemen, honorable members of the panel, dear young friends, we are there, Minmeza is there, we are open to you, listening to you, so that together we can work for the development of this country. Thank you everyone, and happy conference. We are here with you.
Merci, Monsieur le représentant du ministère des Petites et Moyennes Entreprises. Merci pour toutes ces informations. Nous avons l'honneur d'avoir parmi nous le ministre, le MINJEC, le ministre de la Jeunesse, des Affaires et de l'Éducation civique. Monsieur le ministre, vous avez la parole, s'il vous plaît.
Thank you very much, Madame the Moderator. Excellencies, distinguished members of the diaspora, dear organizing committee under the leadership of President Lyonga, ladies and gentlemen, dear youth. Like most countries in the world, Cameroon gives a special place to its youth in its development policy. This is evidenced by the creation of an entire ministerial department dedicated to them by the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Biya. Also, the creation and setting up of several government projects and programs for youth, as the representative of the Minister of Medium Sized Enterprises, Social Economy and Handicraft has highlighted, and the financing and support of various youth projects and so on. It goes without saying that Cameroon's youth is a priority and a major factor in Cameroon's march towards its desired emergence by 2035. So the theme of this conference, the role of Cameroon's youth in economy, community development, and the process of decentralization, is in a new governance for an emerging Cameroon, is therefore very relevant, and the time when Cameroon is embarking on a new logic of decentralization and governance. Within the framework of local governance, youth are a demographic force to reckon in
Nous n'entendons pas le ministre. Son micro est fermé. Maintenant, ça va, on vous entend. On ne vous entendait pas avant.
Alors, depuis que j'ai commencé?
Non, on vous entendait dès le début. Ça a duré juste quelques secondes. Allez-y, monsieur le ministre.
So, I was saying that at the level of the theme of this conference is very relevant at the time when Cameroon is embarking on a new logic of decentralization and governance. So within the framework of local governance, youth are a demographic force to reckon with in the development of local communities in Cameroon. So the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education emphasizes youth participation in line with Aspiration 6 of the African Union's Agenda 2063, which proposes that we focus development on people, and particularly on the potential of women and young people. According to the Electoral Code, for example, of the 19 April 2012, the compilation of lists for the election of municipal councillors must take into account the sociological components of the municipality in question, as well as the gender approach. The involvement of young people in the management of local affairs is encouraged. Their participation is a crucial factor. It is therefore crucial to develop the potential of young people in order to ensure their effective participation in local decision-making for the building of sustainable institutions. Citizen participation then, in the context of decentralization, aims at empowering people to take ownership of their future by playing their role as citizens in local governance. Young people should contribute to finding solutions to national problems that affect them. The responsibility of the ministry in charge of youth affairs and civic education is to strengthen and extend the socio-educational supervision of young people and population in general. In light of its mission, the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education has put in place a number of tools to encourage local governance. We can mention the Cameroon National Youth Council, the municipal youth councils, the regional youth councils, and the National Council for People's Education, and the Youth Parliament, which are all spaces for intergenerational exchanges, for the construction and consolidation of a civic conscience among young people, and spaces for learning and initiation into responsible citizenship. All of them are supervised with the aim of developing the Republican and civic character in each young person. Through these structures, the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education encourages the commitment of young people by setting up a reception, mobilization, and supervision system for young people, stimulating their participation in public affairs, their permanent immersion in the management of local public affairs, as well as their voluntary commitment to the activities of municipalities in order to participate in local development and to acquire and develop skills in the field of public action applied to local development. In view of all the above, the place of youth in the promotion of the social economy is determining factor for local development, as highlighted by the representative of Minmeza a few minutes ago. Indeed, in promoting the social economy, young people must increasingly work towards their empowerment and participation in the fight against poverty. Young people are an integral part of the social economy in a context marked by rising youth employment, unemployment, and promising professional opportunities in the social economy sector. It is therefore essential to get youth to be more interested in the social economy, given that it is a significant lever for economic and social development. That's why there are many structures put in place by the government to accompany young people in that sector, and I cannot come back on them. The representative or the Minister of Medium-sized Enterprises, Social Economy and Handicraft has immensely insisted on them. But what I would say is that in order to promote the socio-economic and professional integration of youth and women, the Cameroonian government, through specific sector and specific policies, has developed strategies and initiatives in favor of youth to reduce the rate of underemployment and unemployment. This is the case with the National Youth Policy, the National Employment and Vocational Training Policy, the National Gender Policy, and so on, of which many actions are put in place. And not come on it, but for the youth in general, what I can say is that the mechanism put in place in all the governmental and even non-governmental programs aim at first mobilizing, identifying, informing, and orienting youth to different programs. That's particularly through the mechanism of the National Youth Observatory and some initiatives like Youth Connect, Cameroon program that have been launched. Secondly, is the moral, civic, and entrepreneurial rearmament, which is very important, made by under the leadership of the National Civic Service Agency for Participation in Development, in collaboration with the Agency for the Promotion of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises of the MINMESA, because as we used to say in the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civil Education, this program aims at inculcating in each young Cameroonian the fighting spirit of our indomitable lions of football, usually cited by the President of the Republic, so that each young Cameroonian should be an indomitable lion in his domain of activity or competence. This is the main objective of that program. So thirdly, the building of their technical, entrepreneurial, and managerial capacities in different structures, our multipurpose youth empowerment centers, the women and family empowerment centers, the vocational training centers, the incubators cited by the representative of MINMESA, and so on and so forth. And fourthly, the financing of their socio-economic integration through different financing mechanisms in different ministerial departments, different ministerial departments. And finally, the monitoring of the education and follow-up committees, so that the young people should be accompanied till their autonomization. So this is the mechanism put in place by the government and which aim at fully empower young people. So in conclusion, we would like to point out that the work done by the public authorities in general and the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civil Education as a family doctor of young people in particular is to ensure that a fulfilled youth is one who, after solving the problem they face, is able to express their full potential and to provide for their needs. A responsible youth is one who while enjoying real empowerment and driven by the spirit of citizenship, that's fighting spirit, is capable of measuring the scope of its actions and demonstrating its readiness to respond to the challenges of national construction. Creative youth are those who, endowed by imagination and a high sense of inventiveness, are capable of developing an entrepreneurial spirit that can contribute to economic growth. A dynamic youth is one who, full of energy and health, displays vitality and is able to effectively play a central role in the development of the nation. And finally, a fully committed youth is one that strongly adheres to the development objectives of the nation and is resolutely engaged in the construction of an emerging Cameroon, so earnestly desired by the President of the Republic, Head of State, His Excellency Paul Biya. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, His Excellencies. Nous aurons à la suite Madame la Sénatrice, Ambassador of Youth Connect. Est-elle là? Madame Poinet-Françoise? Apparemment, elle aurait de la difficulté à nous suivre. Nous passons à Madame Cathy Meba. Madame Cathy Meba, vous pouvez prendre la parole.
OK.
Madame Cathy Meba, ici, est conseillère régionale du Sud, présidente fondatrice de la JEC et ambassadrice Youth Connect. Vous avez la parole, madame. Merci.
Merci, madame la modératrice. Quelle lourde charge de prendre la parole après notre médecin de famille. J'espère être à la hauteur.
Vous serez à la hauteur, allez-y.
Merci. Monsieur le ministre de la Jeunesse et de la...
Et le médecin de famille confirme.
Merci, merci. Excellence, monsieur le ministre. Bon, j'avais commencé. Monsieur le ministre de la Jeunesse et de l'Éducation civique, monsieur le ministre des petites et moyennes entreprises ici représentés, bonsoir, chers panélistes, en vos rangs et grades respectifs. C'est un immense plaisir pour moi de me retrouver dans ce panel composé de hautes personnalités et des personnes assez expérimentées qui œuvrent chaque jour à travers diverses politiques pour soutenir la jeunesse et l'accompagner à son plein épanouissement. Au-delà de ce qui a été précédemment dit, je voudrais, en tant que présidente fondatrice de l'association Jeunesse émergente et républicaine du Cameroun, apporter ma modeste pierre à la construction de cette réflexion qui, ma foi, gravera ses retombées en lettres d'or dans la prise en main réelle des responsabilités de notre jeunesse en ce temps qui évolue à une vitesse de croisière et surtout au rythme des technologies numériques. Je voudrais commencer ces échanges par une citation de son Altesse Sheikh Moza Bit Nasser lors du premier forum de l'Alliance des civilisations qui s'est tenu en 2008 en Espagne, à Madrid, qui disait « En investissant dans la jeunesse, nous investissons dans la sécurité des nations et seules des nations sûres et confiantes peuvent nouer des alliances fondées sur le respect mutuel et des objectifs communs. Nous avons assez parlé. L'heure est maintenant à l'action. » En effet, la thématique qui nous interpelle tous en ce moment porte sur le rôle de la jeunesse camerounaise dans l'économie sociale, le développement communautaire et le processus de décentralisation dans le gouvernement du New Deal pour l'émergence. Un thème assez évocateur qui nous permet de cerner le véritable rôle de notre jeunesse en cette ère de la décentralisation. Pourtant, pour jouer ce rôle, il doit au préalable asseoir les bases nécessaires pour une bonne participation aux différents challenges qui se présentent à lui. L'épanouissement de la jeunesse et son intégration dans les stratégies de développement reste demain l'une des préoccupations majeures du Cameroun à travers les différentes politiques mises sur pied par le chef de l'État par le biais du ministère de la Jeunesse et de l'Éducation civique. Ce ministère, faut-il le rappeler, oriente et fournit les outils nouveaux pour un encadrement qualitatif de la jeunesse dans ses dimensions intellectuelles, professionnelles, civiques, morales et physiques. Dans cette perspective, interroger le rôle du jeune dans l'économie sociale, le développement communautaire et le processus de la décentralisation revient d'abord à poser les jalons d'un cadre propice à sa mise en valeur. Définir ce cadre permettra de mieux orienter ses actions pour l'aider à jouer un véritable rôle dans l'émergence de son pays sur le court, le moyen et le long terme. La jeunesse camerounaise aujourd'hui est un poids démographique important. Elle a constitué quelquefois d'individus inconscients de leur véritable rôle pour l'émergence de la nation. S'il faut définir leur rôle dans un processus global qui tient en compte leur réelle participation à l'économie sociale, au développement communautaire, lequel permettra de construire une bonne politique de décentralisation, il est impératif de les rappeler à l'ordre dans cette société qui leur pose des pièges multiples pour réduire leur plein épanouissement. Nous voulons pour preuve l'addiction des jeunes à plusieurs formes de drogue, cigarettes, liqueurs en sachet, alcool, téléphone portable, sexe, leur enrôlement dans les rébellions, l'extrême pauvreté, les difficultés liées à l'éducation, à l'emploi, aux problèmes sanitaires, à la prostitution et à toute forme d'extraversion culturelle véhiculée par les réseaux sociaux. D'où le besoin d'un véritable réarmement moral. Cet art, et non des moindres, ne constitue pourtant pas des raisons de baisser les bras pour avancer. D'ailleurs, ne dit-on pas souvent que c'est dans la difficulté et les obstacles que les plus entreprenants se relèvent pour avancer et réussir? Ainsi, opter pour la participation réelle du jeune à l'émergence du Cameroun à cette ère de la décentralisation pour booster l'économie sociale et le développement communautaire revient à petit 1. Trouver des solutions utiles pour les sortir des différentes formes d'addiction. Cela passe par l'intensification de la sensibilisation tout azimut et une réelle prise en charge morale et matérielle. La GEC en a d'ailleurs fait l'une de ses priorités au regard des milliers de membres majoritairement jeunes. Elle ne lésine pas sur les moyens pour accompagner fortement ces jeunes en proie aux addictions, tant dans les écoles, les lycées, les universités que dans les zones rurales vulnérables. Elle va même jusqu'à une réinsertion sociale de ces jeunes au sein du mouvement pour mieux les responsabiliser. Petit 2. Élaborer des programmes spécifiques pour les jeunes vulnérables des zones de conflit et leur permettre d'accéder à des priorités entrepreneuriales innovantes qui tiennent compte de leur contexte. Petit 3, veiller à un véritable équilibre genre dans le traitement des prises en charge des jeunes en donnant une bonne visibilité aux jeunes filles et femmes. Chers panélistes, faut-il le rappeler, les politiques actuelles, même si elles élaborent des textes pour l'équilibre genre, ne le concrétisent véritablement pas sur le terrain. Et pourtant, la femme, au-delà de sa vulnérabilité, reste et demeure un porte-étendard pour le développement de chaque nation. Les programmes en faveur des jeunes doivent donc tenir compte désormais d'un vrai équilibre genre pour sortir la jeune femme et fille de l'ombre et de leur donner les chances de réussir les challenges entrepreneuriaux qui s'offrent à elles. Nous plaidons donc en faveur d'une politique spécifique aux jeunes femmes et jeunes filles pour leur participation effective à l'économie sociale. Les programmes d'appui aux jeunes vulnérables doivent intensifier la prise en charge des femmes et des filles dans ce sens. Petit 4. Soutenir les jeunes en optant pour des stratégies qui vont améliorer et faciliter les opportunités d'emploi et d'autonomisation. Petit 5. Encourager fortement les jeunes à l'agro-business, à l'élevage, à l'économie numérique, qui sont aujourd'hui des viviers d'or pour l'État. Excusez-moi, je me suis confondue. Pour développer notre pays. Si les jeunes ont des obligations vis-à-vis de l'État, cet État doit favoriser désormais des politiques éducatives adaptées à nos réalités locales. Nous avons la jeunesse en tant que puissance démographique. Nous avons des jeunes très brillants. Ce qui nous reste à faire, c'est de profiter des milliers d'hectares de nos terres inexploitées pour accompagner ces jeunes à travers des objectifs bien ciblés. L'économie numérique offre des opportunités inimaginables pour nos jeunes, mais les programmes d'enseignement, quelquefois désuets, doivent être révisés pour s'adapter à l'esprit de l'heure et permettre un réel épanouissement des jeunes. Désormais, qu'on le veuille ou non, les réalités de l'intelligence artificielle sont là. La Web 3, avec la métaverse, représente certes des avantages, mais aussi de gros dangers pour les jeunes. Il est donc important que nos politiques éducatives tiennent compte de tout cela pour un meilleur accompagnement des jeunes. Ainsi, en brossant les obligations de l'État vis-à-vis des jeunes, je voudrais, pour terminer ma prise de parole, insister sur quelques points cruciaux du rôle des jeunes dans l'émergence de la nation camerounaise. Pour reprendre Sheikha Moza Bi Nasser, investir sur les jeunes, c'est sécuriser une nation. C'est penser une émergence qui tient compte des enjeux multisectoriels et participatifs de la jeunesse. Les jeunes Camerounais doivent donc être des personnes de confiance que l'État doit véritablement accompagner sur tous les plans. Leur rôle peut se décliner en quelques points pertinents. 1. Travailler durement, fermement et avec dévouement pour réussir dans leur projet entrepreneurial. On est souvent gêné de voir l'État se battre constamment pour financer des jeunes désœuvrés qui trouvent pour seul prétexte la vie rapide de luxe au détriment des efforts continuels de lutte pour réussir et être des véritables influenceurs. 2. Servir la nation dignement et honnêtement en restant intègre malgré les séquelles des faits isolés observés ça et là auprès des adultes englués dans plusieurs formes de malversations financières. Engager des vrais plaidoyers en leur faveur et veiller à un suivi effectif sur le court, le moyen et le long terme. 4. Participer à plusieurs cadres de concertation en leur faveur pour être de véritables leviers qui vont booster l'émergence d'une économie sociale, gage d'un développement local décentralisé. Entreprendre à travers des politiques existantes ailleurs ayant réussi en les adaptant aux réalités locales camerounaises pour créer des entreprises qui tiennent compte de la diversité culturelle des personnes impliquées. L'esprit entrepreneurial doit tenir compte de chaque composante sociale sans pour autant verser dans une sorte de tribalisme à outrance, loin des compétences et des retombées. Une vraie nation, une nation sérieuse privilégie un esprit communautaire des jeunes sans distinction ethnique, géographique, sociale et sexuée. Nos jeunes ont du potentiel. Ils sont nombreux, ils sont ambitieux, ils sont parmi les meilleurs de la sous-région. et peuvent changer le visage de ce pays. Pour cela, nous devons savoir les écouter, identifier leurs talents, les mettre aux bons endroits, au bon moment, pour qu'ils puissent, comme du levain, donner une belle forme à leur réalisation. En retour, ils doivent briller par un esprit intègre, loyal, sincère pour espérer être accompagnés de bout en bout afin de tisser des ficelles solides qui pourront relever ce pays et penser à son émergence dans le monde. L'Afrique peut. Le Cameroun doit oser l'île attendue et la jeunesse y parviendra. Je vous remercie pour votre aimable attention.
Merci, Madame. Nous allons à présent passer la parole au ministre de la décentralisation et du développement local. Monsieur le ministre, vous avez la parole, s'il vous plaît. Ou son représentant.
Thank you very much, Madam Moderator, for giving me the floor. Your Excellency, the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, distinguished members of the panel, it's a pleasure for the Ministry of Decentralization and Local Development to take the floor this day during this video exchange platform. I would like to begin by presenting the regrets of the Minister of Decentralization and Local Development, who would have loved to participate in person, but due to some circumstances beyond his control, he couldn't really attend. The Minister of Decentralization was asked to speak on the place of the Cameroon youth in the decentralization system of governance. I would like to begin by painting a picture of our decentralization structure. Decentralization in Cameroon is at two levels. We have the regions, which are incarnated by the regional councils, and we have the local councils.
I get that thick one.
Obviously, the local councils.
S'il vous plaît, veuillez fermer vos micros. Ceux qui n'ont pas la parole, veuillez fermer vos micros, s'il vous plaît.
At the level of local councils, we have the city councils, the ordinary councils, and the subdivisional councils. And now the question we attempted to ask is, what is the place of the youth in all this? We must understand that the state has decided, the central government has decided to transfer powers to these regional and local authorities. And an important emphasis has been laid on powers transferred in the domains of the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, in the domain of employment and vocational training. And we always, as the minister rightly pointed out, that in the constitution of council, municipal council list for elections, youth are also considered. The law says that we must respect the sociological composition of the area. We have mayors who are not up to 36 years. I take the case of the mayor of Manfred, who is barely 35. We have the city mayor of Limbe, who is, in our context, is not up to 45 years old. He's a youth. And out of the 374 secretaries general of councils we have in Cameroon, 4% are people below 30 years. When it comes to municipal treasurers, we have 8% who are also below 30 years, who are very young persons. We've been working with the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education in the implantation of youth local councils and regional councils. I think the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education inaugurated the first regional youth council, I think in the extreme north, a few months ago. But all this will not really have any meaning if the youths are not empowered, if they are not capacitated, if they are not trained. That is why in his usual wisdom, the head of state created the National School for Local Administration. For the youths to be actively involved and to play their role in decentralization, they have to be trained. They have to be trained in decentralization, not as it is seen or practiced elsewhere, but they have to be trained on decentralization as it is seen and practiced in Cameroon as per our laws and norms. So the National School of Local Administration, which is in Boya, plays a role. The first intake will begin their training in a few days' time, precisely on the 25th of April for those who were recruited of recent. And the Ministry of Decentralization has also put an emphasis on the local public service. The legal instruments have been drafted and have been transmitted to the competent authorities, and we are trusting that in the days ahead, the legal instruments shall be signed, putting in place the local public service. And we all know that the local public service obviously is for youths. It's not for any other person. There is also, besides, there is also a concept which is piloted by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, the concept of volunteerism, which the Ministry of Decentralization and Local Development is exploiting to encourage citizen participation, especially youth participation in local affairs. We have discovered that increasingly our youths, we only meet with our local elected officials, the mayors, the regional councillors and presidents during elections. We behave as if after the elections, we tell them, okay, see you again in 5 years. That is not what we think is good for our system. That's not how we will develop our country. So we believe that the youth must participate on a day-to-day basis in the running and in the shaping of decision-making in the country. So Mindevel, for instance, our theme for this year is civic participation or citizen participation for local development. The law has made it possible for everybody to attend council sessions, to attend regional council sessions. We are encouraging the youth to take this opportunity, offer them to enter. Yeah, maybe you will not be able to vote, but you can be given the floor to make an input. The law has made it obligatory for the mayors to publish their budgets whenever they are voted, so that the youth can easily know where exactly projects have been identified, so that they can do effective follow-up. In South Korea, there is a common say that if you do it without us, it means you are doing it against us. So we are encouraging the youth to come on board to make sure that their voices are heard. There is also neighborhood and village committees which have been provided by the law. And these committees and village committees and neighborhood committees are instruments which gather within them youth. And we have made it a priority that mayors must consult these bodies in drafting their budget, so that in coming up with projects, we come up with projects which are need-based, identified by the youth, identified by the women, identified by the population at the base. We should not come up with projects which are not really need-oriented. So in a nutshell, the Ministry of Decentralization and Local Development is working in tandem with all the other ministerial departments which are concerned with the transfer of powers, and we are encouraging youth to take the opportunity. It is also common knowledge that nobody will register a youth to stand for any position. The youth should have that desire, should have that will, and to come and stand for these positions. And obviously, the Ministry of Decentralization and Local Development will support them. We will usually throw our weight behind youth and women. Thank you very much.
Merci, Monsieur le ministre, pour support à la jeunesse. À présent, nous allons passer la parole à Monsieur le directeur général, Monsieur Edwin Fongods, Director General of Customs. Monsieur le directeur général, vous avez la parole.
Thank you very much, Madam Moderator. I hope you are listening to me, you are getting me. I want to salute the presence of our minister. I followed up his presentation, which was pretty very rich. I think for some of those presentations, if we can beg him to distribute, share, so that even those who are not part of this panel should be able to learn from him. I've also listened to all the other speakers, especially the representatives of the ministries, and especially you see my sister Christy Meba. I was very excited by her conclusions. And I think my job has been made very easy because a lot of things have been said. You know, it's true I am from the customs department, but permit me, I will probably not want to I don't want to dwell today on the issues of customs, because as you all know, the customs administration has an economic role to play, and there are lots and lots of facilities that have been put in place to empower the youths. But I want to dwell on one little segment of the theme. The theme was the role of youth in social economy, community development, and decentralization. I think we've listened to the social economy of the decentralization, and permitted me dwell a little bit on community development. Why community development? Because I think that it's a culture that our youths and even all of us have to develop. Cultural values. It's a culture that we must develop. That's community development. Why so? Because we'll be forced to work collectively. We'll be forced to think. The youth will be forced to think collectively. And instead of probably being in their little corners, each one trying to do one thing and the other one the other thing, and then they might not really have these resources. But as a community, not only can they pull their resources together, but they can they can learn and work together. You see, when in community development in those days, when we were growing up as young kids, our parents used to talk a lot about community development, and it helped them a lot. If you even hear of the credit unions that are existing today, it's all part of that whole process, where people had to get together, put resources together, their meager resources together, and try to help themselves collectively and build up the community collectively. So community development will sustain development. That's what I believe. So our youth, I think, if they embrace community development, they'll be able to sustain all what they are doing. It will sustain development. Of course, it will bring inclusive. There'll be inclusive development, because not only one person will emerge, but a community will emerge. And of course, there will also be social justice, because it will not be a question of trying to facilitate or to help X and not helping Y and vice versa. So there will be social justice, and of course, human rights. And of course, somebody mentioned this earlier, there will be this participatory democracy, which is which is very present now in our society. So what am I trying to say? The theme talks of the role of youth in community development. And I think community development to me is a culture. And this culture has to be developed if our youths need to grow. Because collectively, there are lots and lots and lots of things that they can achieve collectively. They can put resources, they can get their resources together, they can get their senses, their know-how together. And of course, let me give you a very simple example. You open up a little farm. Farms are labor intensive. It's not possible for one person to clear or to prepare 2 hectares of land for planting. But if the youths decide to get together and say 10 of them go to one farm every day, they'll be able to achieve a lot. But if it's just one person, he'll be discouraged. He'll probably try to clear a few acres, get discouraged, and then just abandon and just go away. But if they all get together and do work, and each day they go to each farm and try to prepare the farms, they will prepare, they will achieve more. So my plea, I'm not going to be long, my plea is for this community development spirit to be the guard word, to the guard phrase to our youths, because with that, we'll be able to identify our needs and aspirations, and not only identify our needs and aspirations, we're able to work together for a better development of our country. A lot has been done, a lot still has to be done, and I want to praise the ministries that are actually working with the youths, because it's not an easy task. You know, it's not an easy task, because at times our youth actually derail from what they're expected to be. I was happy with the conclusions of Madame Meba, because she actually reminded the youth of those things that are not very good, those things that may not help them get to where they are expected to go to. And if they can keep aside that, I think we're very sure that we'll be living Cameroon in the hands of a vibrant, youthful population that is purposeful, that works together, and that will ensure that Cameroon continues to enjoy the things it's now enjoying. Thank you very much, Madam Moderator, and thank you very much, President Fabian, for bringing me on board. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you too, Mr. Director General. Now we're going to go to the MINSUP, the Minister of Higher Education. His Excellency Jack Famindongo. Are you here, sir? Do we have the MINSUP? Or its representative? Do we have someone from there? It looks like there is no one. So we're going to go to, we're going to call in another lady. Do we have His Excellency's Sheikha Cortez? Do we have her? No one? So we're going to introduce the Executive President of the Higher Council of Cameroonian Abroad, Mr. Samuel Dogmo. Are you there, sir? There is no one.
Oui, allô, Président Fabien, j'ai entendu Samuel, je ne sais pas si c'est Samuel Dogmo.
Oui,
Yes.
c'est vous qui elle appelé.
Yes.
Donc, elle est en train de vouloir introduire tous les structures qui ont assisté à ces conférences. Donc, c'est ce qu'elle est en train de vouloir faire.
C'est une manière de vous donner brièvement la parole pour quelques minutes.
Ah d'accord, je vais être très très rapide. Merci de me donner la parole, madame. Merci au président Fabien. Je pense que je vous ai écouté tous depuis le début. reconnais la présence des excellences qui sont là, les honorables et toutes les hautes personnalités qui ont parlé avant moi. Je pense que vous touchez un sujet extrêmement important, celui de l'implication de la jeunesse d'une façon générale et celle de la diaspora. Je vois qu'il y a des jeunes de la diaspora qui sont connectés, comme le président Fabien et d'autres en Afrique du Sud et autres. C'est très bien, c'est un sujet critique parce que, comme le président le dit, c'est le fer de lance de la nation, c'est-à-dire l'avenir de ce pays. J'ai entendu parler de la pyramide des âges, hein, et quand on regarde les chiffres du ministère de la Jeunesse, hein, le ministre Mounouna tout à l'heure a parlé, la jeunesse représente en fait un gros segment de cette pyramide des âges. Donc l'avenir, l'émergence ne peut pas se faire sans cette jeunesse. Alors je suis le docteur Ndokmo, le président du Haut Conseil de la diaspora. Fabien travaille avec nous depuis plusieurs années. C'est des choses que nous suivons de très près. Nous vous encourageons et nous pouvons vous dire déjà félicitations pour ce que vous faites et surtout que vous pouvez compter sur nous, sur notre accompagnement pour que, effectivement, quand on parle de jeunesse camerounaise, on inclut cette jeunesse très dynamique aussi de la diaspora parce que le Cameroun doit se construire avec ces deux segments. Donc, félicitations, encouragement, vous pouvez compter sur nous, vous êtes sur la bonne voie. Merci.
Merci. Merci pour votre collaboration. Nous allons passer la parole à M. Lyonga. Fabian Lyonga. Are you on?
Moi?
Yes.
I'm not sure I'm supposed to be the person to speak, but I think the group of those you were introducing after the Director General of Customs, it was those institutions which help us in this collaboration. So like Dr. Ndomo, you just called, that's the president, the executive president of the High Council of Cameroonian Abroad. And I think there are a couple of others which, I mean, in between the speakers, you might just be introducing them as we go. So we don't run out of time. So you might move to the next speaker. I think the Minister of Higher Education, I received I received a message. He's being represented by one of his collaborators who should be on the call. In the meantime, you can proceed with the others while we wait for them. I see Mr. Owuna there. I think he's the one. I think if he's there, please, he might just take it from there.
Okay, he can speak. It looks like it's not there. Dr. Ambe?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to address this great audience. Let me begin by appreciating the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, who happens to be someone I'm meeting the second time on this same platform. I want to acknowledge all the representatives of the different ministries here, the honorable and distinguished men and women who've come to share their view on youth empowerment in Cameroon. Special greetings to Mr. Lyonga, the convener of this wonderful session. We're talking about the role of the Cameroonian youth in social economy, community development, and decentralization. From what I have followed from the very beginning, everyone that has presented to the youth. I think we are talking to the youth, but I want to talk on behalf of the youth. This discussion is supposed to go on two ways. Those who are talking to the youth, and those who are talking on behalf of the youth. As a young man, I think the youth equally have a very important role to play when it comes to community development, it comes to decentralization, it comes to social economy. And one of the things I want to emphasize today is that we have a greater population of youth in our country, Cameroon, about 70%, and a greater population of youth in the continent Africa, about 70%. That tells us that without the youth, there is no Cameroon, and without the youth, there is no Africa. And it's our responsibility to take advantage of the availability of this manpower, not just physically, mentally, educationally, emotionally, to help build a strong economy. One of the things I have studied throughout my life is that a nation is known through growth or by growth based on its gross national productivity. And I think we have to crime waves will reduce. Nobody will be willing to invest in the reserve because there are a lot of unproductive and idle youths. If these youths have a means of livelihood, nobody will spark up violence when he has investment. Countries like China are escaping from war because they've invested so much economically that they will not be ready to engage into any war that will destroy their investment. If youths are actually productive, nobody will be willing to carry a gun somewhere to shoot because he knows carrying that gun will destroy his business, destroy his enterprise, destroy his structure. It is high time we start setting up economic conferences and peace conferences. Preaching peace will not solve any problem if we engage people into start being productive. If the youths are productive, it will be difficult for somebody to engage crisis when he knows that his investment will crash down. So I think it's a clarion call for us to bring the youth to the place of productivity. There is a little challenge I have as far as my nation, Cameroon, is concerned. My nation, Cameroon, is a great nation. My nation, Cameroon, is a very wealthy nation. My nation, Cameroon, is a nation full of natural resources. But I think one thing we are missing in this nation is human resource. This human resource is something we need to engage seriously to build capacity in people. I think it's high time we study from countries like South Korea, Malaysia, Indonesia, Japan, who have gone through crisis and difficult times. How did this country pick up the broken pieces of their lives? It was young men from China, young men from Japan, young men from South Korea who were raised and sent to technological developed nations. These young men went there, tapped the technology, and came back home as human resource to make sure the natural resources have value. Natural resources have no value until human resources make them valuable. I think if we have enough of natural resources without growth, it's only an indication that we lack human resource, because it is human resource that makes natural resources relevant. It will shock you that it is American Chinese that develop China. It's American Korean that develop Korean. It's American Japanese that develop Japan. I think American Cameroonians, American Europeans should develop Cameroon. You cannot have a born indigene from China developing China. It's an American Chinese that developed China, an American Korean that developed Korea, an American Japanese that developed Japan. This brings me to my second cry, the place of the diaspora in nation building and economic development. We have a lot of potentials and skills and abilities out of this nation, out of this continent. I think the idea of dual nationality will not be a bad one if we give our children who have gathered the skill and the intelligence of overseas to come back home and invest the knowledge they have here. From time immemorial, it has been proven that we are rich in natural resources, yet we are not growing. That means we don't need natural resources to grow. We need human resources. France, Germany, America doesn't have natural resources. They have human resource. Everywhere there's a human resource, even in the desert, they will turn that place into a fertile ground. Israel happens to be a desert country, yet it has human resources that has turned that desert into a fertile land, which means we don't need any other bauxite or gold or diamond or cocoa or manganese. We need men that can make manganese have value. We need men that can make rocks have value. We need men that can make gold have value. I think the challenge we have right now is human resource in this country. And that human resource is in the youth. These youths are hidden somewhere in the world with skills, ability, technology that has been deposited in them, waiting for the opportunity and an enabling environment to be given to these youths to come back home and invest this knowledge. I think when it comes to social economy, the youth have everything it takes to grow this economy. But I think an enabling environment should be given to them to exploit the talent and the ability. This man organizing this program is one of the blessings of the diaspora. Imagine if we have such a mind residing in the diaspora. Imagine how many of them are there that if we transport this skill and bring back home, the educational sector, technology, agriculture, engineering, medicine will skyrocket in another dimension. This is my cry. I think the idea of dual nationality should be promoted in this country. That's one of the very important aspect I'm emphasizing in this meeting. The last meeting I spoke about patriotism. If at all we understand what's patriotism, we'll be able to understand that the people who carry the blood flowing in their veins in this nation, no matter where they are situated in the world, they are Cameroonians. And we need the abilities in them to come back, develop this country. We cannot talk about social economy and minimize the place of the diaspora. They have advanced in different skills and different abilities. And I think we should give them a place in this country to help better up the situation of the economy. I also believe that what we are having in Cameroon is gross national political parties instead of gross national productivity. A country that has 300 and something political party has a question mark. I think we have to work on that to make sure that we reduce the number of political parties and increase the number of productivity in this country. What are we producing? What are we selling? If you buy and sell, you are a retailer. If you buy and sell in large quantity, you are a wholesaler. You are not as rich as him that does the production. That's why the countries that fell into productivity are more advanced than those who do retailing, distribution, and wholesaling. A nation cannot grow by wholesaling. A nation can't grow by distribution. A nation cannot grow by retailing. A nation grows by productivity. That is why the entire wealth of a nation is calculated by its gross national productivity, not gross national political parties, not gross national universities.
Thank you, Dr. Ambe. We need to, because we have for the sake of time, we need to move on with other people. Maybe we will come back to you later.
Thank you very much.
Now we're going to have the Deputy Director General of Promotion Agency for Small and Medium Size, Mr. Eric Ewuse.
Yeah, thank you very much, dear panelists. I hope that you all can hear me. I want to salute, if he's there, the Paramount Chief of UCYE, Dr. Irukambila Ndili. I was informed that he was supposed to be part of this forum. I want to salute the Honorable Minister for Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Minister Mununa Futsu, who, apart from being the Minister in charge of Youth Affairs, is particularly devoted to the promotion of youth activities. I also want to salute our senior brother, Director General of Customs, who just spoke a while ago. And of course, our brothers, the Director of Decentralization in the Ministry of Decentralization, Honorable Isaac. And of course, my inspector in the Ministry for Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises. Senators present, President Fabian Lyonga, we want to salute you for the synergy you brought this afternoon in bringing youth actors, which blend very well with the team that you gave us to present, which is the role of Cameroonian youth in social economy, community development, and decentralization process in the New Deal government of Cameroon's emergence. Thank you very much. I will present this paper in 5 short points. First will be a brief summary, which I will not waste too much time because we've talked a lot about it. Brief summary on the position of the youth in Cameroon, the challenges of employment, government's effort through entrepreneurship and small and medium-sized promotion, and the role of my agency. And of course, the social economy and community development efforts as employment niches in an era of decentralization. And we'll look through some sectoral perspectives. Please don't forget that the Small and Medium-Sized Promotion Agency, with its French acronym as APMA, is the operational arm of the Ministry of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, Social Economy, and Handicrafts. As such, we will be giving you bits and pieces of activities that we carry out. Because of time, we cannot go in depth of everything that we are doing, but we will give you information that will be relevant and that will stimulate you to make you come to our offices to find more information. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I will want to join my voice to say that youth empowerment and employment agenda for Cameroon is at the heartbeat of government policy. You know, like in most African countries, more than 60% of Africa's population is made up of youth and under between the age of 25 and 30. And by 2030, I'm very sure that young Africans, that's what the statistics say, are expected to constitute more than 42% of the global youth for those who attend the World Economic Forum. In Cameroon, the National Institute of Statistics is also very clear about it. In 2010, as far back, population growth was at a 2.8% rate, the youthful population of over 50%, and 75.8% of young people were aged between 15 and 34. And in 2019, Index Mundi, which is a demographic institution, placed Cameroon youths at 6.6 million persons in 2005 to 8.6 million persons, growing at an average rate of 6.43%. Why am I saying all of this? Is because these indicators signal trouble for economic growth and employment in Cameroon, because the youth is going to put a heavy pressure on social services if they cannot survive, which reductions would only require significant levies on the promotion of productive sectors. By inculcating in young people the spirit of enterprise and entrepreneurship. I listened to the last speaker who talked about production. I completely agree with him, but you know, the issue with Cameroon youths, if I must digress a little bit, is that production carries with it procedures and processes which we must learn. We can't just jump into production and think we're going to survive. And it is those processes that the agency is trying to make sure that we inculcate in young people so that when they start to produce, they will follow the production processes which will require their products to fit in, compete in the international market. We are in this period also facing innovative challenges which are coming in with the wind of change. We have the advent of this digital technology and challenges linked to health with the COVID, which came in, and food security, which affects the conventional way of socioeconomic interactions. All this put together makes a complex blend which young people must navigate through to realize their dreams. This new environment must lead our youth to unlearn and, of course, to relearn how things must be done if we must survive in this wide wind of change. So if we look at the challenges, I want to restrict myself only to some statistics which are not even very current on education, which is very important for us to know so that when we discuss further, You understand what it is? A restricted focus on higher education statistics gives 11 state universities now at present. Added to the universities are 226 private higher institutions already accredited and many other vocational training centers spread out in these regions. These structures enrolled 316,631 students by the end of 2018. And Cameroon registered approximately 350,000 students in the then 8 universities in 2019. So that tells you that a speed of 288,000 new university students are recruited almost every year. The National Employment Fund registered in 2019 more than 780,000 young people, and 51.06% of them are applying for funding to start a self-employment business project. So the Small and Medium-Sized Promotion Agency, under its program to promote young people with innovative projects, to develop a prototype fund for their products known as the Prototype Fund, specially financed by the head of state, registered the first year alone 820 projects online and 780 the second year, and the agency had to select just 20 of them because we did not have the financing to carry more than 20. The others are on standby for lack of funding and for fine-tuning. I'm just giving you the state of affairs of how difficult youth promotion is. But the second very important issue, which is linked to this youth unemployment and poverty issue, is that of internal migration, which is mostly by young people. An ACP study of the subject sought to prove that migration flows intra and regional in Cameroon can also be a threat to development if well-targeted government strategies are not approved and implemented. From a socioeconomic perspective, the study in 4 cities, Douala, Yaoundé, Bolova, and Bafoussam, urban migration rate was estimated at 52%, which reveals intense mobility of goods and persons. And the study actually revealed 8 different tendencies of migration, which labor migration, health migration, conflict migration, environmental migration, forced migration.
Mr. Iwusi, your microphone, we have a problem with your microphone.
Oh, sorry, I got it.
For the time it adjusts, I would like to...
So the bottom line.
Hello?
Yes, I'm getting you.
Yes, for the time your microphone adjusts, I just would like to give a word to our participants that you can send your question, but make sure to make it short and precise, and also directed to the person, to a specific person, please.
Okay, thank you. Can I go on?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Why did I give you that context? I gave you that context because the bottom line in all of these forms of migration is that they all end up looking for jobs, improve standards of living, as well as sustainability through employment possibilities. And despite the many efforts that the government puts, they remain catalysts in high creators of the informal economy. And that's where I come in with what government is doing to improve on that context. As concerns the SME promotion and entrepreneurship, the government since 2004, in a bid to accelerate the fight against poverty and unemployment, created the Ministry of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprise, Sector and Handicraft. And the ministry's job, in one sentence, to help in organizing the local economy, which in a nutshell was over 95% of SMEs. And 85% of that was made of the informal economy towards well-structured and formal SME economy. As such, a lot of progress has been made to improve the environment of small businesses in Cameroon between the period of the Millennium Development Goals, which saw the first and second generation of poverty reduction strategies that led to the vision of the head of state to make Cameroon an emerging nation in 2035. And of course, with the Sustainable Development Goals that came in with the SND Trend. The Small and Medium-Sized Promotion Agency created by law in 2013 in charge of promotion and development of SMEs facilitates the creation, competitiveness, sustainability, and expansion. of small businesses. It functions as the operational arm of the ministry, but remains work in progress in terms of implanting its operations in the divisions. But we have important services in all 10 regions headquarters in the field. The technique which we use in the agency is working with private expertise in business advisory services and business development services delivery in non-financial services. We use experts for certain programs and train experts for others. About 5,000 existing enterprises capacitated since 2016 in at least one of the different service deliveries which we have put in place. You want to register your business, you heard from my representative in the ministry, you can register your business in 2 hours with just about 41,500. I think it has increased a bit because of the new stamp duties that are put in place. You pay about 45,000 francs. We can help you in your business plans. We do that. Your business models, if you have, and business ethics, which we think is very important for small businesses because they have a problem of morale. We help in starting and operating a business, review and restructuring small and medium-sized enterprises. We have programs on quality control, like Kaizen. We have programs on packaging and quality, because if you have a bad product, you will not sell in the market. And we train on financial techniques and financial access facilitation and other ITC master training programs. The Center for Creation of Enterprises in Cameroon, in all the 10 regions, started before the agency and has created, to this day, over 100,000 enterprises. And this will not be an alarming thing for us, because enterprises do die off after 1 to 3 years if they are not well catered for their sustainability. It is our job, but it's not easy for us. At times, enterprises register without having a good model, and before they discover that they cannot function, they are bound to wind up. And it becomes difficult for us to follow up an enterprise that is already dead. So we are calling on most young people who want to create enterprises that we have a service before you create your enterprise that will give you business advisory services on how best your product can be of use to the consumers in the market, because business is market. If you produce something that cannot be sold, it's a complete waste of time and effort. The small and medium-sized bank has also been put in place with work in progress for a convenient, flexible business model for its operations. It is the financial arm of the small business promotion and works with our agency together. We have what we call accredited management centers. These are centers which train young people. I talked about business ethics, trains you on business ethics, management, and integrity. And it's very important that those who are engaged in business know that you must have business ethics if you have to survive a business in terms of quality, quantity, and time. We have guarantee funds which have been put in place.
Oh. Non, c'est pas mon compte.
Mr. Usi is muted.
Please mute your mic. Please mute your mic.
Unmute.
It looks like Mr. Ewusi has a problem with his microphone. So we're going to go to Mr. Hambe so he can finish what he was talking about.
And before that, Madam Moderator, please. I think Mr. Ewusi was about touching a very essential point, the guarantee fund. I think going back to the head of state's message to the youth on February 10th, he actually made mention of this, and that concerned the use of the diaspora. So we'll be glad to have him back complete that statement after Mr. Ambe, please. Okay, I'll give it back to you.
Thank you. Right. Thank you. Mr. Ambe.
Thank you very much for the opportunity again to address, like I was saying, I think Mr. Osi has highlighted something very important. I think that was the content, the procedures that are needed for you to be very, very productive. And I'm so happy that the Minister of Vocational Training and Development is here. That is a sector we need to make our youth engage into. The education that causes taught to memorize and say things. It's not education that can develop this country. I think with the Ministry of Vocational Training and Development, it is very important for us to engage youth to practically engage what they have in them as abilities and potentials. Any society that brings out the skills and ability in children, that society will grow very fast. And I'm glad because the president is setting up structures on ground, even though it's a gradual process. I believe and trust God in the days ahead to come with the different ministries I'm seeing being put in place. There is hope for Cameroon. The small and medium-sized enterprise also challenges us to delve into the domain of business. And I think that emphasis should be laid on this productivity sector of the nation. Our youths should be given the power, that desire, the urge to go into the area of productivity. Because I can tell all with all sincerity, a nation that is not engaged in practical productivity has no future. That is what I was trying to establish before I was cut short. And also, like I said, we have a lot of potential great people in the diaspora, which I think if given the opportunity to come back with what they have gathered from that area, it will help also advance the cost of growth in this nation. This nation should give itself the next 30 to 40 years plan for productivity in every domain. We should carve out certain areas where we can engage active productivity. It will help us develop this nation faster than any other thing. We've tried other principles for the past 50 to 30 years. They seem not to have produced the desired result. Like I will always say, there is no resource on earth more important than human resource. Natural resource notwithstanding, mineral resource notwithstanding, human resource is primordial. And I think Cameroon has a human resource. From my research, I've studied Cameroonians out of the nation. They are the best in the universities in the UK. They're the best in the universities in America. And Cameroonians are doing quite well outside. We cannot give a blind eye or a deaf ear to the role of the Cameroonian diaspora when it comes to productivity in this nation. I believe in people going out to acquire skill rather than coming back here with used mattresses, used cars, used fans, and used electronics. They should go and come back empty-handed. A statistic was carried out recently. Japanese who travel out of the country and Koreans, they don't go back home with material. They go back with DVDs and CDs and flash and USB cables. They carry these things with ideas inside, go back home, watch it, and reproduce what they studied outside. But statistics are shown in Africa that we go out and we come back here with used cars, used vehicles, used. I think that orientation is supposed to be carried out in this nation to give the youth a perspective of going to do what we call transfer of technology back home, transfer of business skills back home, transfer of IT ideas back home, rather than transferring what has been used already over there. That's my primary focus. My center of attraction here today is the area of productivity. We should lay emphasis in that area and we should focus on it. One last thing I want to lay as a foundation is that I think something like agriculture should be taught from kindergarten to university. It shouldn't be a course that you will do when you reach the university. I think agriculture should be part of our very life. I so much appreciate what the head of state is doing through the Ministry of Agriculture because so much has been done in that area. One of the ministries I know that imports agricultural machineries in the country without high taxes is the Ministry of Agriculture. One of the ministries I also know helps and foster the growth of farmers in the Ministry of Agriculture. I have seen the head of state through that ministry help a lot of young men. But I think we should start doing agriculture at industrial scale, not at consumption scale. We are doing subsistence agriculture. We are doing intensive agriculture. We should do large-scale production agriculture. And that is the reason why Cameroon happens to be the most fertile, the land with the fertile soil in the world. And I think agriculture is a very fundamental requirement for growth. Without any agrarian revolution, there cannot be an industrial revolution. Let us challenge ourselves in agriculture. When raw materials become too much, we start thinking of not developing machines on how to process the raw materials. I think that is the little I have to say to you. Thank you very much. I don't know if you are getting me. I don't know if you were getting me, please.
Yes, yes, we were getting you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's my
asking.
submission.
So we're going to go to, do we have the president of Cameroon National Youth Council, Madame Fadimatu Iyawa? Is she there?
Hello, please, I'm back online. Can I please, may I be excused? I got a small problem.
Yes.
Thank you. So as I was saying, before I got interrupted by internet issues in this country, the government of Cameroon, with these non-exhaustive tools which I've explained, business of Cameroon registered over 500,000 jobs which were created in 2019 and about 600,000 jobs created in 2020. These are government statistics. We, together with the Customs Department and the CNC, Taxation, API and APMA, we have a program which we call an investment one-stop shop, which for those, I think Mr. Ambe asked about those who are coming to invest from diaspora. If you are coming from the diaspora and you create an enterprise in Cameroon, you can benefit from exonerations from our offices. And I can tell you that these exonerations are very, very important exonerations which the Customs Department together with our offices and the Ministry of Finance, they do offer. So it's important that those who are coming from the diaspora and they are bringing in machines, for example, in agro-food machines and other machines in production, if they pass through our offices, we'll be able to look at the project and give them tax exoneration following the committee which will sit and analyze on such issues. And the agency has a lot of work with cooperation agencies like the French Development Agency. We have a program called Transfagri. We are talking about young people who should come into production. We have a program called Transfagri, which is agro-food processing training, which we give to young people, some who have already started and those who want to start, so that they can benefit from the procedure and the processes, like I told you, for which production is necessary. We also have, I think a lady talked about women entrepreneurship. We have a program of the Far North, which we call the Setrantonest.
Another mic issue. Do we have a question from participants? Est-ce que nous avons des questions venant des participants?
You are cutting me short, madam. I'm still on. I don't know if you are not getting me.
We lost you, Mola. We lost you, I will see. So, but you can continue.
You get me now?
Yes, we can get you now.
Okay, thank you. Well, like I said, we have programs with the United Nations Conference for Development, United Nations Development Program, International Finance Corporation, all which has to do with creation of enterprises and development of enterprises. We have a program with the ILO for the Northwest and Southwest, which has to do with start and improve your business. We have trained trainers, and we are about to let the trainers train enterprises. So the next phase will be coming to identify young people who are into business and see if we can give them business models which can actually function well. We also have programs like I told you about the investment program. I don't know if you heard me when I was saying that. The one-stop shop investment program for the diaspora. If you are coming in with projects, you can come to our offices and we'll look at the project and propose certain tax exonerations for you concerning your machines or your equipment that you are bringing from abroad. So that is equally very important. And now when it comes to the social economy, I'll make it a little bit very simple. The laws have been and regulations have been signed by the President of the Republic after passing through the Parliament. And simply put, social economy organizations are associations, they are mutual societies, they are They are, like you heard, cooperatives, simple cooperatives. So I'm calling on, I think a lot of young people are there who are already into associations, they're into cooperatives, they're into mutual societies. Our offices are open for advisory services on how to benefit from the advantages that government has put in terms of associations. Closely linked to those associations, which can equally serve a bridge, is the issue of community development. Community development organizations are many, and they are diverse. We have the business organizations, we have NGOs, we have NPOs and CBOs in their different communities. Some of those that exist operate out of standard regulation. So we can actually look at your document and redirect you on how you can benefit from government possibilities. In other words, you should have a blueprint. For those who have organizations and don't have blueprints, I want to mention that we should have a blueprint, which you simply have to explain who you are, what do you want, what do you have or don't have, how do you get what you want, and for what utility cost or price. It's easy. So if you can get that, it will be easy. I think
we lost him again. Just to encourage the
somebody
participants
talked
to send their
about
question in the chat.
somebody's mic is on and it's disturbing. So we have that community development niche, which if you have, you can register with us. And of course, it's a program which we are following with the Japanese, which is called One Community, One Program. So if you have a program in a community, which you expect that we can help in developing a blueprint, you can also visit our services. I guess I was getting too long, and I think that for now, I'm going to end here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Iwisi. Do we have questions from participants? Avons-nous des questions?
Ils sont en train d'envoyer dans le groupe. Ils sont en train d'envoyer les questions. They are sending their questions in the chat. So you can just continue while the secretariat is putting those questions, picking them out, and they'll send them to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bon, moi, j'ai particulièrement une question.
Non, envoyez vos questions dans le chat.
Écrire les questions.
S'il te plaît.
Ah, on relève les questions. OK.
Oui.
Okay.
Qu'elles soient courtes et précises.
OK, merci.
Et adressées à la personne indiquée.
OK.
Merci.
Merci à vous.
Merci. We're going to continue with His Royal Majesty, Dr. Ekukwe Robert Ndele. Is he there? Are you there, sir?
Yes, I am here. Good morning.
You have the floor. Thank you. Good morning.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity, Your Excellencies, this parliamentarians and
excuse me,
members of government. I stand on the same protocol as the Deputy Director of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, Mr. Ekukwe. And the question I have, recently I was talking to quite a few number of students at the University of Boya and Landmark University in Moliko, where I was given the opportunity to be a guest speaker. And I asked them how many of them, if given the opportunity, will leave Cameroon next week. All the time, all the youths want to leave Cameroon. They are really bent on leaving Cameroon if given that opportunity as early as next week. You see, there's nothing more dangerous to any society than to have a large segment of its population feeling that they have no stake in that society and they have nothing to lose. That's how badly our youths feel today. So this topic on youth in social, economic, and entrepreneurial decision-making is quite timely for the way youths in Cameroon feel. To kill a country, we always say there's nothing more damaging to a country than damage its youth. Once you kill the youth, there's no country anymore. At the time I used to be in the US, during President Obama's rule, the gentleman who was leading Obama administration and who served as the chief information technology officer of the entire United States, his name is Vivek Kundra. He was just 35 years old at the time. Even our president, head of government, President Paul Biya, head of state, he was the chief of cabinet and secretary general of the presidency in Cameroon in his 30s. So youth have always been the key for the driving of every economy in the world. And in fact, Facebook was started by youth. Mark Zuckerberg was in his 20s when he started Facebook. Microsoft, Bill Gates was started by a youth. He was in 18 years or so when he just got into first year in university. I can go on and on. And so youth are the major driving force of every great economy in the world. In Cameroon, it is not the same. I think the reason is that, and why all the youth want to leave, is because they don't see role models for themselves in Cameroon. There's hardly any major sector. I mean, granted that our brother Eric Ewusi is a youth and he's a senior director in the ministry, but there are not many people like that in a country where 70% of its population is between 25 and 35. We don't have a good representation of youth leadership in the country. And it's because we don't have good mentorship in the country. There are a lot of intelligent young people in Cameroon. They come to my palace every day with different kinds of projects, and I see how intelligent they are. But how to convert this intelligence into growth in our country is one area that I think all of us need to revisit. The other countries have found a good way to do this, except us, Cameroon. I always say the American DV lottery is one of the most dangerous things that have ever happened to Africa. The American DV lottery takes 50,000 of our youths every year. And these are the most intelligent people. These are the change and the pace setters in our country. Don't forget, they don't take anybody below advanced level. They only take our best away. And so the cream of our society is leaving every year. And I always say, today, everybody wants to go to Dubai. Dubai is the Mecca now for every middle-class person in Cameroon. 50 years ago, Dubai was a desert. But they found a way to attract, make their country a magnet and retain their own and build a good society. I think that's something we can copy from and build in Cameroon. There was a country that had the same path as Cameroon. It was called Singapore. They actually gained their independence about the same time as we did in the 60s. But in 30 years, they moved from third world to first world because they had youth leadership. Their president at the time, Lee Kuan Yew, was a young man who had just graduated from university. So I think Cameroonians should give our youth a chance in leadership. That is critical. And we should also mentor youth, because you cannot ask somebody to lead if you have not provided the environment to make him a good leader. So I just want to end there. I just wanted to keep it short, but I think that's the cry of every Cameroonian youth, that they want to get involved. They want somebody who can hold their hands and lead them. They want a mentor of all kinds and all sectors in Cameroon. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. What's speaking here is the Paramount Chief of Buea, Mr. Ekukwe Lyonga. Thank you very much. Now we're going to take one question from the participant.
Dr. Ekukwe.
Dr. Ekukwe, thank you for correction. We have a question to the Mint Mesa, okay? How does the Ministry of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises handle online businesses? What if you wish to run your business exclusively online?
Hello, are you getting me?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, as I said, the ministry, MINMESA, its main role is to put in place to make sure that the business environment is quite friendly. When you talk about online business, you are somewhat getting into a domain that involves much more the Ministry of Post and Telecommunications. They have a role, a very serious role to play on that. But whatever the case, business being business, MINMESA is always there for business people. And that is why you heard the general manager of APM say they, as the operational wing of MINMESA, they are there to make it easy to create the business and make it easy for you to learn more about improving upon your business strategies. But as concerns online businesses, it has more to do with other ministries that work in the government. I will advise our participants to get in touch with Minpostel for more information on online businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we're going to have the minister. The Minister of State, Ministry of Higher Education. His Excellencies Jacques Famendongo. Is he there or is representative? It looks like there is no one. So we're going to go to the city mayor of Limbe, Mr. Paul Ngale. Mr. Paul Ngale, are you there? Are you there, Mr. Paul Ngale? No response. So we move on with the program to somebody else.
Well, sorry, I'm not sure if the senator is back, and I still see the representative of the Minister of Higher Education connected. Maybe for some reason he is not getting us. So while waiting for that, the secretariat, they are getting the questions from the chat group, and we just want to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Or maybe he left. Dr. Esunge. And a couple of others. So, Madam Meban Kati, is the senator back, please, so that we can run off? I think that would be the last speaker while we get the questions.
Are you there? Madame Kati Meban? It looks like she's not on. Madame Meban?
Before I get into trouble, let me correct myself. Professor Julius Esunge, I'm sorry, sir. I think we have him on the call. If he's still there, I think he should, while we're getting the questions, he can open his microphone and greet the youth before we let the members of government and the others retire from this platform.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for the opportunity, my dear President Fabian Lyonga, and to all the dignitaries here, thank you. This is a really, truly wonderful and needful initiative that you've put together. I would keenly await subsequent opportunities to be able to, share some thoughts as well. But I've noted, the excellent comments that a number of the panelists have already made. And this is a win-win formula. All the pieces of the puzzle must be on the table for us to count success. And so thank you indeed.
Thank you very much, Prof. So I think please, the Secretariat, let's get those questions so that our honorable panelists can answer them. And also, if you have not yet.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question, but the question is so important, so I have to ask it orally. En fait, j'ai une question, mais je voudrais la poser oralement parce qu'elle est assez précise. Et je pense qu'il serait plus approprié que je la pose de manière orale.
Mais ce n'est pas, it will not be like that for every other person, please. Soyez bref, s'il vous plaît. Elle est adressée à qui? Et vous,
la question adressée à M. Ewusi.
Allez-y, posez votre question.
OK. J'ai écouté M. Ewusi particulièrement à propos de les réformes qui ont été prises en matière d'exonération des taxes pour certains qui se lancent dans l'entrepreneuriat. Alors, me basant sur le fait que certains entrepreneurs ou alors certains tenanciers de start-up se plaignent de la surenchère douanière, quelles sont les mesures qui ont été prises par les douanes pour accompagner ces jeunes-là pour permettre à ces jeunes de pouvoir entretenir leurs activités sans que les taxes ne soient trop lourdes pour eux? Donc, voilà ma question.
Okay, thank you very much. If you permit me to answer the question from the gentleman, please, I will again reiterate that questions of tax exoneration requires that we study your project to see exactly what equipment you are bringing. And like I said, it's only for production purposes. We require that you sending your documents, and a committee in charge of examining those documents will sit and approve those elements in your project which require exoneration. And the committee has as members the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Customs and the Director General of Customs. So please, if you have any issue of tax exonerations, yes, it is possible, but please, first of all, get detailed information on your project presentation, and of course, send your project to us in the agency here, and of course, we'll give you an expert to work with. Some of those details is not something that I can begin to explain here. It is going to take a long time. So please, just refer us to our offices and we'll help you. And for those who I saw a question on tax exoneration for 1 year, please let me just answer that. I think that for those who want more than a year's exoneration of taxes, when you are starting a business, you must pass through the accredited management centers. On appelle centre de gestion agréé. When you pass through the centre de gestion agréé, accredited management centers, which is in all the regions, I think they will give you a certificate that will permit you to have tax exoneration for more than 1 year. Thank you very much. Those are the rules that I'm giving you.
Thank you, Mr. Ewusi. Nous allons passer la parole au directeur exécutif de Lyonga Institute of Science and Technology Listware. Donc, je pense que nous l'avons déjà eu. Passons au Oui, c'est vrai. Dr. Ilimbi Catherine, est-ce qu'elle est là? Ilimbi Catherine, est-ce qu'elle est là? The Executive Director of Lyonga Institute of Science and Technology Listware. Is she there? So we move on to the next. Madame Marie-Claire Elinge, the Program Director of Cameroon OIC. Is she there? Next. The CEO for TK Manpower of Trucking USA, Mr. Tanya Musimbe. Are you there?
Yes, please. I am here. Sorry. Sorry, I'm here. I'm a little outside. I'm far away. Oh, just a second. Yeah, I'm here. One moment, please. A moment, please.
Take your time.
A moment.
We have a couple of questions, and Madam Moderator, I think after this intervention from this young entrepreneur, we shall have a question for the Minister of Youth Affairs. I think a couple of others are coming, so we shall dive immediately into the questions and answers while we run off.
Yes, can you send the one that you already have?
Okay.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you, Madam Moderator. The Minister, Mr. Fabian, I want to first of all appreciate you for this opportunity. You have been giving many Cameroonian youth at the diaspora to get in touch with the government of our Cameroon to see this go through. I want to really appreciate you because you've been on this for a very long time. So I personally, I live in the United States, and I have been trying to make sure I talk to a lot of Cameroonians. And during my findings, I discovered that a lot of Cameroonians, they don't want to invest back home because of all what they have been mentioning here. First of all, Mr. Ambe has said a lot. I want to thank Mr. Ambe for bringing us this and trying to fight for the youth too, you know. So yes, I'm a businessman. I own a contracting company in the United States. I own a trucking company, logistic in the United States. I'm also a contractor in Cameroon, and we're also building a production factory in Cameroon. So what I was also trying to talk about it's on this platform is it's not just about tax exoneration. We want to thank the government and the platform put in place for this tax exoneration, as they mentioned. What we're trying to say is we're trying to invest back home. We, as primary industries or enterprises, when we start at home, we want the government to also try as much as possible to give us that opportunity as primary industries or infant industry back home to consume 80% of our product by, I don't know, I don't know what to say, ban, but give us that restriction. Because for an example, I am trying to build a production company for energy drink. Now, if in any case we have something like Red Bull that is coming into the country, or Monster, which is not fabricated, it is not produced in Cameroon, of course, definitely it's going to be a fight for us as infant industry. So we also want to beg with the government to also give that opportunity to the youth so that we can also build that country. You know, we love that country. We love Cameroon. We have multi-talents in the United States. No one, in fact, I would say less than 5% of Cameroonians living abroad when I come back to Cameroon because of all what has been mentioned. I am very pleased that we have this platform organized by Fabian and other members to make sure the government can at least hear from us, the entrepreneurs from different parts of the world and who are investing back in Cameroon. Because last year, a couple of years, I have imported shipped couple of containers, and of course that was acted as revenue to the government, and also acted as a source of employment to a lot of youth that came from school and had no jobs, and it helped them for that little while. And the taxes at the port was not really encouraging, because if I'm going to buy stuff here, even at a cheaper rate, and ship back to Cameroon, how much money do I make from that? So if I stop shipping, one, I don't give money to the government. The government, of course, would not have revenue for my own ends. And secondly, the Cameroonian youth will not also have part of job at that particular time that I might be shipping the container. So that is something we had a meeting the other time we talked about on the international trade, and also emphasizing on the fact that primary industry, they want to create funds for them, they want to help them get momentums in Cameroon, encourage them to build. Like I've been telling a lot of my youths that even schools, you know, like primary schools and secondary school, which should be a part of a school curriculum, that students should invest more in entrepreneurship. So
thank you, sir. For the sake of time, we will have to move on to somebody else.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for your participation. So we're going to come back to Madame Marie-Claire Elinge, the Program Director of Cameroon OIC. Buea. Is she there?
Hello, madam. Please, if she's not there, please, can I just come in?
No, we are already running out of time, so we need to move on. And I also announced that the MINJEC is going to conclude our event in 15 minutes. So do we have a Mr. No, we have him already. Let's go to Dr. Elimbi Catherine, the Executive Director of Lyonga Institute of Science and Technology, List Buea. Is she there?
If she's not there, madam, that question,
Okay, because she's not there.
The comment of the gentleman from the US is very important. I think
yes, Mr.
Okay,
as you factor in, I think it's important.
Take the floor.
Because, thank you very much, madam. I want to inform you guys that I think one of the problems we have with the youth is that they just sit back and expect information to come and meet them where they are. It's very important for the youth to change their mindset, to move towards where information is. Because at times, even when we call open days and information days for what the government is doing, you don't find the youth around those areas, and it's very, very disheartening. That the gentleman who just spoke about encouraging to consume Cameroon products, I think the Ministry of Trade has a whole series of programs on the activity of consuming Cameroon products. I think that if it comes to Cameroon, or if he has agents here, he should send them to the delegation or the ministry itself to discuss on how possible his products can be promoted within Cameroon. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we go into the MINJEC. His Excellency, is it there? No?
He's coming.
The minister is coming. So did you check if there are other questions here?
No, I don't
are supposed to be answered by the panelists while the minister take his seat. Secretariat, please. Are there some questions, unanswered questions, so that they should be addressed while we wait for the minister to run off this to close this conference, please?
So I think I have one question here.
Any question which is addressed to the Minister of Youth Affairs? Excuse me. Any question which is addressed to the Minister of Youth Affairs, he is going to address that during this closing remark. In the meantime, any other question to address to the other panelists, please, they should be addressed while the minister takes his seat, please. Well, I think if there are no questions, it means that our panelists did a very great job by, addressing all the issues which our young people should be facing. Selinfo, Minjek, Silo Minisela, nous vous attendons. And also, please, the Secretariat is preparing certificates of participation. This is very important to volunteers, especially the younger ones. They know what I'm talking about. So you should, if you have not yet written your name, you should write your name and maybe your email address and WhatsApp. It's going to be sent to you electronically, this certificate, before tomorrow.
There is one question here. Most youth and the diaspora have been paralyzed in their business ventures because of higher taxes and higher custom duties. How can we do to regulate the higher taxes and custom duties to encourage the youth and diaspora to invest in the country? Are they good as sized at the seaport and later on sold at auction prices? Est-ce qu'il y a ici un représentant de...
I think that question is addressed to the Director General of Customs. I'm not sure if he is still on the call.
Il n'est plus là.
President Fabian, I'm about to die. Please charge me.
In the meantime, sorry about that. In the meantime, these questions, we're going to address it in the report and send it to the Director General of Customs. It's a very pertinent question and issue which most young people, go through from the diaspora.
Okay,
so, Selinfo, please, Silo Minjek est là dans 1-2 minutes. Ça sera notre plaisir. Entre-temps, je voudrais vous remercier tous pour votre temps. And initiative like this should be encouraged. We want more people to benefit from initiative like this. And instead of us staying, complaining, we should come together on the table to see how we can seek for solutions to resolve issues in our country. And why not hold our government accountable if we are present and making use of us. So I think that is the take-home message. We should be very actively involved in the growth of the nation by, doing the right thing. This report is going to be made available. If you have your email address, you have a copy of it as well. Please send those emails coming. In the meantime, if the meeting ends without you doing so, I think we have the Executive Bureau of the United Council for Youth Empowerment. If they are there, then I think they should drop an email address or a WhatsApp number, which you can send that to. So, Selinfo, I'm waiting for you guys. And I thank you so much for coming, especially all the speakers and our young people.
We are waiting the minister.
Okay, while we're waiting for the minister to come, is there any question which you think is addressed to, I see Dr. Ambe still there. I think His Royal Majesty is still there. Otherwise, any other person who is in this call can take up an initiative to answer to any. I see Dr. Usi is also still there. And a handful.
What was the question?
Is there any question? Like I said, I think we did a great job. Our speakers did a great job, so we don't have questions. This is the first time haven't seen anything like this. So
Excellent.
we're just waiting for Minjek, the minister, to come and sit. Please just be a little more patient. We gave him 15 minutes, so, and we're requesting him to come back before the 15 minutes. So those of us from the diaspora, please, while waiting for the minister,
One question here, just one remarks.
Okay.
Can we have all those interventions in one document? Is it?
Yes.
It will be possible?
Yes, we're going to have all.
Okay. Okay.
Alors, j'ai posé une question à l'endroit de monsieur Ewoussi. Je ne sais pas s'il il fait toujours partie des panélistes.
Il avait répondu, monsieur Paul.
Ah,
monsieur
ok. J'ai envoyé une autre question écrite. C'est-à-dire qu'il reformule la même question que j'ai posée.
Ok, si c'était la même chose,
allez
c'est
juste
qu'il avait répondu.
Ah, ok. Bon, j'ai eu un problème de connexion à un moment, donc je n'ai pas eu la réponse en temps réel.
Ok, vous allez voir ça dans... J'espère que vous êtes, soit vous faites partie du groupe WhatsApp J'ai.
Ok.
Vous allez voir ça là-bas.
Ok, merci. Merci beaucoup, monsieur.
L'occasion peut donner à quelqu'un d'autre. Je vois certains de nos frères qui vivent à l'étranger. I see Dr. Owona Fue Guy. I see a couple of others from the US, South Africa. Those of us who are in the diaspora, while waiting for the minister, please, you can just say hello to your brothers and sisters back home. Dr. Ngwanya,
yes, good afternoon, everyone. This is
okay,
Dr. Fue.
Owona, please. Yes.
Yes, this is Dr. Fue calling from California. This was an excellent initiative, so I'd really like to appreciate that. I was listening to all the panelists, the topics were spot on, and I really would like to encourage, more of this initiative. And on the communication level, one of the things that I can also say is that we could reach a broader base, by making sure that we announce, event like this, early enough, right? So there are a lot of people here in California who were not aware, of this event until last night, and people have to wake up at 6 a.m. to attend this, and that was the challenge, but, I will certainly broadcast some of these informations, to the rest of the panelists. So I would like to thank you, Nesper, for making this possible. So, and I heard that there is a WhatsApp list. I don't know how people can get into that list. So that would be great, to also share, that information. There is also a Facebook page there, that also needs to be widely spread. So, and thank you very much. There are a lot of great information coming from the United States. A lot of people who spoke here on behalf of the diaspora of the United States. So I believe that if there is going to be another opportunities where we can really focus on emerging technologies really that are coming worldwide and specifically here in Silicon Valley, that is going to impact our youth. I was looking at our SNDS program for 30 and looking at what the government is putting in place, to foster educations and training of our youth, beyond the year of 2030. There are significant gaps that needs to be plugged in, right? Because I believe my sister Kati maybe talk about it, artificial intelligence, it's coming. There are a lot of regulations that are going to be in place. A lot of technologies are going to be phased out, worldwide in the next 10, 20 years. And those technologies will not be even available for us in Africa to acquire. So they will require our youth to be trained on new existing technology like artificial intelligence and a lot of other technologies that I don't see programmed yet at the university level. So it would be great, for our Ministry of Higher Education to really focus on some of these areas to plug the gaps, because around 2035, if we miss that boat, it will be difficult for our youth to not only acquire, but also troubleshoot, all the products that are going to be coming from abroad, because we didn't have the opportunity to train our youth on. So I would like to thank you very much again. And if again, there is another opportunities, people here in California would like to be able to, to showcase, some of the technologies, that we've been working on and that we're working on also beyond the year of 2030, and see how we can help our ministries and the different ministries that were represented here to put together programs, that are going to allow our youth to be not only exposed to those technologies, but also to be trained on those technologies. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam la coordinatrice, I'm not taking your speaks. I think the Minister of Youth Affairs is here, so you want to take over and direct the microphone back to the Minister for his closing remarks.
Okay. Thank you. Nous sommes arrivés au terme de cet événement et nous allons passer la parole au ministre. Son Excellence. Allez-y, Monsieur le ministre.
Merci beaucoup, Madame la modératrice, de me redonner la parole. Je voudrais commencer par répondre à une interpellation de la GERC d'un jeune de la jeunesse émergente républicaine du Cameroun par rapport à ce que fait le gouvernement pour l'accompagner au regard du dynamisme, n'est-ce pas, de cette organisation. Je dois relever ici qu'en ce qui concerne déjà le ministère de la Jeunesse et de l'Éducation civique, la GERC est associée à toutes les activités du ministère, comme ils le savent, et le ministère les accompagne également dans toutes leurs initiatives. Il n'y a qu'à voir les derniers ateliers qui, lors de leur assemblée, où le ministère a désigné des représentants pour accompagner la GERC. Et donc, nous saluons ce dynamisme et une fois de plus, c'est ce que nous souhaitons du mouvement associatif jeune. Et je pense qu'il y a encore quelques jours, je félicitais les jeunes sénateurs et sénatrices qui, membres de la GER, qui ont été élus ou nommés. Et je pense que j'ai promis à la présidente de les recevoir solennellement pour leur présenter ces félicitations et encouragements du gouvernement. Donc, c'est pour dire que nous sommes conscients de ce que fait la GER et les autres mouvements associatifs dynamiques. Et nous allons de toutes les façons nous servir de cela pour inspirer d'autres jeunes leaders. En tout cas, la présidente est d'un dynamisme et d'un talent. Je profite pour la féliciter solennellement tout à l'heure à l'issue de sa présentation. J'ai d'ailleurs demandé en inbox qu'elle me fasse tenir sa présentation pleine de propositions pertinentes que nous allons exploiter en attendant avoir les actes de cette conférence. Donc, c'est pour dire que nous gardons une attention particulière à tout ce que les leaders jeunes font, et d'où ma présence à cette conférence organisée par le conseil de président Lyonga, que nous accompagnons également et que nous félicitons pour ce dynamisme-là également, qui permet de connecter les jeunes, particulièrement ceux de la diaspora, aux leaders et décideurs, notamment les membres du gouvernement et les différents départements, administrations sectorielles. Donc, il y a l'AGER comme le council de Lyonga sont des organisations auxquelles nous apportons des attentions particulières, avec d'autres organisations non moins importantes. Donc, je voudrais, pour clore mon intervention et cette session, remercier les organisateurs, dont le président Lyonga, pour cette initiative, énième initiative, qui vise donc à connecter les jeunes, notamment de la diaspora et ceux du terroir, aux décideurs. Cette initiative rentre en parfaite ligne de l'initiative Youth Connect Cameroun qui a été lancée en 2019 sous le très haut patronage du chef de l'État, comme vous le savez, et qui vise donc à connecter les jeunes à des rôles modèles, aux opportunités, mais surtout aux décideurs. Donc, je voudrais féliciter donc les organisateurs pour cette initiative, en même temps que je remercie les administrations sectorielles, notamment les membres du gouvernement, qui ont désigné des représentants pour intervenir, pour venir informer cette jeunesse, particulièrement celle de la diaspora, qui n'a toujours pas de bonnes informations concernant ce que le gouvernement et ses partenaires font pour le développement de ces pays, pour la prise en charge de cette jeunesse, pour faire participer la diaspora au développement national, conformément à l'appel du chef de l'État, qui n'a cesse de répéter à la diaspora de venir développer le pays après avoir acquis ses compétences, ce savoir-faire et ce savoir, cette connaissance technologique. Donc, je voudrais remercier les administrations qui répondent à chaque fois à cet appel des jeunes de la diaspora, les leaders jeunes, au cours de ces visioconférences et des autres rencontres en présentiel qui se déroulent sur le territoire. Je voudrais ensuite remercier tous les autres panélistes qui ont intervenu et qui ont fait des propositions très pertinentes. Et je pense que c'est la raison pour laquelle je voudrais souhaiter aux organisateurs que toutes ces contributions, ces propositions rentrent dans ce que j'appelle les actes de la conférence, de cette conférence, pour être transmis, n'est-ce pas, au gouvernement. En tout cas, le ministère de la Jeunesse et l'Éducation civique en médecine de famille de cette jeunesse-là est prêt à porter ces propositions en direction des autres départements ministériels pour qu'ensemble, sous le lead de M. le Premier ministre, chef du gouvernement, et la très haute impulsion du chef de l'État, son Excellence, M. Paul Biya, nous puissions continuer à apporter des réponses concrètes aux préoccupations des jeunes, notamment ceux de la diaspora, avec leurs propres propositions. Parce que, comme les jeunes aiment dire, ce qu'on fait pour les jeunes, sans les jeunes et contre les jeunes, ici, nous avons appris à faire avec les jeunes, donc pour les jeunes. Donc, cette conférence participe, n'est-ce pas, de cette logique-là, et nous voulons avoir donc ces propositions-là pour voir comment traduire cela en politique publique conformément à notre vision actuelle de la stratégie nationale de développement à l'horizon 2030. Je voudrais enfin féliciter tous les jeunes et moins jeunes qui ont participé à cette table ronde, particulièrement ceux de la diaspora, qui, dans leur exposé, dans leur présentation, non seulement ont fait des propositions, mais ont également pris des engagements à venir contribuer davantage dans différents chantiers pour le développement de notre nation, ce qui rentre en droite ligne de l'appel du chef de l'État, une fois de plus, qui les interpelle à venir participer au développement de notre pays. Et ils doivent savoir que le gouvernement, notamment à travers le programme d'aide au retour à l'insertion des jeunes de la diaspora, a mis en place un certain nombre d'outils pour les accompagner dans leur initiative locale ici. Donc, je crois qu'on ne le répétera jamais assez, le Cameroun a besoin de tous ses fils et ses filles pour se développer, et au premier rang desquels ceux de la diaspora qui sont allés à la recherche de la technologie, du savoir, de la richesse, hein, pour donc devenir développer ce pays. J'étais très content de l'intervention d'un des participants qui a insisté sur cet aspect en disant tous les autres pays asiatiques et tout ça l'ont été avec leur diaspora. Donc, c'est ce que le chef de l'État appelle aujourd'hui que ce pays se développe avec sa diaspora. Donc, répondant à cet appel, en tout cas, nous, au niveau du gouvernement et particulièrement au ministère de la Jeunesse, nous sommes disposés à accompagner tous ceux qui ont des initiatives. Nous le faisons déjà et je crois que beaucoup de membres de la diaspora le savent. La preuve, c'est que cette initiative est celle d'un jeune de la diaspora que nous accompagnons et qui permet d'informer davantage le reste de la diaspora. Donc, voilà ce que je voulais dire dans mes propos conclusifs. Et je voudrais de saluer tout le monde et dire que nous restons disposés à renouveler cette expérience pour les prochaines occasions. Je vous remercie.
Nous vous remercions, monsieur le ministre, Excellence.
Merci beaucoup, Excellence. OK, guys, rendez-vous l'année prochaine.
L'année prochaine, on voudrait que ce soit tous les jours ce genre de conférence. Quand vous nous envoyez l'année prochaine, on est un peu triste. Ça va encore ralentir le développement dans notre pays.
L'année prochaine, c'est trop loin, monsieur Lyonga. Je pense qu'on a le 20 mai, la semaine de l'unité qui arrive, la journée internationale de la jeunesse et beaucoup d'autres événements qui arrivent avant la fin de l'année. Donc, dire que c'est à l'année prochaine, c'est manque de dynamisme. Ça,
vraiment.
C'est que vous êtes plein d'énergie, donc un rendez-vous dans les prochaines semaines.
Ça nous arrangerait parce qu'on n'a pas pu dire tout ce qu'on avait à dire.
Dans le groupe WhatsApp qu'on a partagé, s'il vous plaît, il faudra vous connecter puisque nous avons un hangout qui est prélude pendant les activités marquant la fête de la jeunesse. So we're going to discuss that and
la fête de l'unité.
La fête de l'unité.
Fête de l'unité.
Voilà.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency.
You're welcome.
So, guys, it was a pleasure, and I was saying next year the conference is going to take place again next year, every year, but next year we're going to have it physically, that's in person in Yaoundé. So, and of course, those of you who will not be able to travel to Yaoundé from the diaspora, you get connected over the Zoom network also. So, but let's work together and make, Cameroon what we want to see for the future. Thank you for your time so much, and Info, you can stop the recording and
thank you.
Okay.
Got your email address.
Fabian, merci. Thank you.
Got your email address. Thank you so much, Team UCYE in Cameroon, for this wonderful job that you did. You guys did not sleep, and it was very hectic, to be very honest. It was very hectic, like day and night, rain and sun. I saw them running all over the place in Yaoundé. So thank you so much. We need everybody on board in order for us to do it better. Dr. Fue, we're going to talk, we're going to work together and make sure that next edition, we have more representation from the diaspora. Yes, the network needs to be, we need that connection. We could only do what, was within our reach. So, but I'm so much impressed to have you all today. Selenfo, you've not stopped the recording. And